Hi guys, it's Mansi, your storyteller. Welcome to my channel, The Storyteller Mansi, and I hope that you're having a great time this Halloween trick and treating. So wherever you're watching it from, YouTube or Instagram, I'm great that you're here. And I hope you will like, comment and share and let me know what your thoughts are on the story that I'm about to tell you today. I'm going to be reading a story by Kanika Sharma, which was written specially as a Halloween prompt, and this is a prequel to her first book called Vikram and Vittal. Vikram and Vittal is a book based upon the legend of Vikram and Vittal. So Vikram is a well-known righteous king of Ujjain. Vikramaditya is his original name. And there's this Vittal which he has to kind of, he has taken a vow to get him down from the tree and give it to this person. This person who used to give him fruits every day, and one day he discovers that in one of the fruits there's a ruby inside. So when he goes to find out why he has done that, he says, because I want you to do something for me, please help me out and get me this corpse from this ancient tree. And due to certain reasons, because of a vow he has taken, he says, okay, I will do that for you. He goes and he gets that corpse down. But the moment he gets that corpse down and on his shoulder, the corpse wakes up. It is not just a corpse, it is not a human even, it's Vittal. It's like a ghoul or a vampire, you can say, if you compare it with all the Western legends. And when this thing wakes up, it says, I'm going to ask you a few questions. If you give me the right answer, you will speak. You have to be silent, otherwise I will fly away. If you speak, if you give me the answer, I will fly away. But if you don't give me the correct answer, I will blow your head into pieces. So Vikramaditya is like, okay, there's no other option that I have. So this Vittal starts asking him questions. Betal Pachisi is a collection of 25 stories, that is 25 questions that Betal asks King Vikram. And Vikram somehow, because he's a righteous man, he's a king and he cannot bring shame to his kingdom, he has to answer correctly to this ghoul. And that's what he does. And every time he does, Vittal flies away. Until Vittal realizes that this man is a really good man, and he kind of tells him a secret. He tells him why that man wants me. Why does he want to kind of do this occult whole process and the whole rite? He actually wants to kill you. That's why he's doing this. And Vikram first of all doesn't believe it, but in the end it is the truth, as Vittal said. So basically Vittal is a trickster, of course, but he's a very wise soul, or whatever supernatural creature you want to call him. This is a story about how a person, is actually doing his job well, really well. This is the righteous king, and he's doing it for his vows. But in the end, you also learn 25 lessons from all of the Vittal stories. Now that you have a little bit of an understanding or the background of what Vikram and Vittal is all about, I will start reading. So this is the Vittal submitted into Contest 65 in response to write about someone's first Halloween as a ghost. So when you view this prompt by readsy.com, you will find Kanika Sharma's story over there. And this is a story that actually is going to be in her second edition of the first book as well. So Vikram and Vittal, the second edition, is going to have the story. And I encourage you to go discover those links and get all those books. She has got 2 books, and this is one. This is the first of them. I'm sure you will like it, and all the links are below in the description. Okay, the Vittal. It is said that Halloween night is indeed magical, attracting the souls from other realms into one of the mortal beings for that particular night. Throughout the world, spooky incidents are reported on the eve of 31st of October every year. It was yet another chilly Halloween night in the relatively deserted town of Yorkshire, London. And the big banyan tree at the dead end of the 5th block looked especially eerie that day. The dense cloud of fog around the tree was causing the light of decorative pumpkin lanterns put on it to fade, giving the tree a very spooky appearance. The two boys who left the home on their bicycles with the utmost zeal to collect maximum trick or treat goodies were now standing spellbound in front of the tree. They could not sway their eyes from it. What is this thing even doing here? This species doesn't look native to England. It is apparently private, owned by an Indian family. I have heard they even put an appeal in the town council for keeping it, citing religious reasons. What is that? That form-like thing. Stop it, Irwin. I'm not going to... What the hell is it? Run, mate, run. The two boys ran at the top speed that their jaded bicycles offered and were lucky to get away, but the patriarch of the said Indian family wasn't going to be that lucky. The Halloween Eve had once again worked its magic. The ghoul or the Vetal had come to life out of the dead body, buried so deep under the trunk of the banyan tree for so long. It was another thing. No, it had no features of its past life, no sex, no gender. It was now a bodiless, smoky entity. It did, however, have some memories of its past, previous human life, and that was all it needed. Sudhir smoked chillum in his veranda. It was surprisingly silent even for a Halloween night in the deserted town of Yorkshire. It was all dark, but a small light from the nearby bonfire was keeping him from freezing and was making his face glow. What is better than gazing at stars while smoking chillum? The bright full moon in the clear sky was suddenly engulfed by a shadow, which went unnoticed by the man, buried in his thoughts. His reverie was broken when the negligible light coming to his face from the bonfire was also blocked by the same black shadow. The man turned and saw an unearthly creature looming in the air. What is this creature, he thought. It looked nothing like anything he had seen before. It was dark, smoky, and shapeless mass with deformed holes for features. He felt that the creature was an inhabitant of some god-forsaken, deepest circles of hell, cursed to roam earth till eternity. The man was experiencing the most horrifying incident of his life. He wanted to scream, but his mouth froze in a perpetual "oh." He went to run for his life, but his feet were not his anymore. His eyes widened, never leaving the ghastly creature that was moving towards him. The man froze in his spot, sweating profusely in the cold, while the creature bared its, what seemed like fangs, in a mirthless laughter. Almost levitating, it moved towards the man. Seeing his impending doom, the man prayed to whatever god he could remember for cardiac arrest or any other quicker than the one that approached him. Poor him, his fate was sealed. The entity, or as the local christened it, the Vetal, loomed over him. It scooped him up in the air and with its foam-like hands ripped his chest apart and poked straight at his heart. As the blood and flesh spurted around, the man convulsed and vomited a cocktail of blood and entrails. He screeched in pain, a scream so chilling that it even froze bones miles away, and it was over. This scream was accompanied by another thud of utensils scattering around the ground. In a single flip, the Vetal turned around and saw a lady, frozen with shock and yet shivering in fear simultaneously. Fascinating, the Vetal spoke in broken syllables, and then bared its fangs in another mirthless laughter at his new victim. The lady's eyes widened with fear as she saw her now dead husband fall to the ground. Vetal was now slowly approaching her, but this sight was so ghastly that dare she moved. So she kept there, staring at Vetal's bottomless holes for eyes for what it felt like an eternity. And finally, when it hovered over her head, that she mustered all her courage to scream. Too bad for her, it was too late. In an instant, the unearthly creature jumped on her neck. It coiled around her neck like a hissing cobra. She felt a sharp sting in her neck that deepened right into her voice box. Pain caused her eyes to pop out from the sockets, dilating the pupils so much that her eyes now appeared as black pool of horrors. The last thing she felt was the trickling warm blood from her neck, soaking her cream silk sari. Then, with a thud, her fragile body fell to the ground. The Vetal then glanced at the corpse, and pointing its foam-like fingers to the lady's dead wedding ring, it spurted, "Mine." Satisfied with the macabre he created on the ground, the Vetal turned towards the entrance to the house and saw another prey waiting for it inside the house, peeping at it through the window. The poor lady had just witnessed the soul-rotting scene of her son and daughter-in-law's murder from the window. Scared, she ran to the other corner of the room where her toddler granddaughter lay fast asleep in a cot. She jammed the door from inside, but she could feel Vetal's persistent presence just outside the door. She waited for the door to open any moment now, but instead, a black moss-like substance seeped in through the hinges of the door. The old lady did not know what was more unbearable, her fear of the unknown entity or the stench from the moss. Once inside, the moss took the form of Vetal, who was now creeping towards her in a lizard-like manner, making terrifying hissing sounds like that of a snake. She closed her eyes in fear while Vetal hung over her head, contemplating if she should meet the same end as the other two. And as Vetal calibrated, its own past ran like a reel of cinema in front of its bottomless holes of eyes. A past that seemed so old now in its racked memory, like eternities have passed already, an era when it was not the Vetal, a cursed bodiless mass, when it was not yet reduced to being an it, but was very feminine she. Yes, before becoming this dreaded creature, she once used to be a woman with dreams and name, Maya. She was a daughter, a wife, a mother. This old lady, her mother-in-law, back then had plundered Maya's dreams by plotting latter's murder with her son and Maya's husband, Sudhir. Maya's only fault was that she had not brought much gold in dowry like new, now dead daughter-in-law. On top of it, she could not give birth to a son. A vice as per patriarchal Indians. Vetal still remembered the pain when, in her past life, as Maya, she was burnt alive, and then her half-burnt, half-alive self was buried under the banyan tree in front of the lawn. They did not even think of her daughter once, who was only a baby then. Vetal looked at the toddler sleeping on the cot. Though she had grown up considerably, she still looked famished and malnourished. These people have subjected her to much negligence at a tender age. Anger and emotions brewed inside the hollows of Vetal's eyes, emotions that it was not even sure existed anymore. In an instant, the Vetal decided not to kill the old lady. Not because she was old, not because she was innocent. No, she was not. But because of two reasons. One, the toddler would need someone for taking care of her. And two, the old lady's crime was too huge for an easy punishment like death. She was to be tormented for the rest of her life. It bared its fangs in a smile of satisfaction and then gurgled a yes, as if pleased with its own reasoning and decision. The old lady, who was up until now waiting for her death with closed eyes and folded hands, slightly opened her eyes. The Vetal was flipping in the air right in front of her. In a split second, it went behind her back and clung onto her oily braid. The poor lady's neck bent on one side, as if some unknown force more powerful than gravity itself was pulling her down on one side. She shouted in pain, and in response there was a peal of ringing laughter like that of a child that churned the insides of the old lady with fear. "Mother-in-law, remember me?" the Vetal said in a broken voice, a voice so vile that it seemed to have not belonged to any man, woman, or even animal. The old lady's eyes popped in shock. "No, "No, it is not possible. I buried her dead body myself. She's dead," old lady muttered, shivering like a leaf in the wind. The Vetal negated her statement by swinging on her braid left to right like a child on a tire swing, dragging along the old lady's fragile neck around. "She's dead." She screamed in pain. Her pain was a joy to Vetal, but she decided not to kill her yet. Okay, she's not dead. It decided not to kill her yet, but meanwhile, sure, it could have some fun. The Vetal smirked at the ingenuity of that thought. It then rotated her rag doll of a body to face the mirror in the opposite corner. Seeing her reflection in mirror sent chills to her spine. If she had been so scared so far, it was nothing compared to what she felt now. She could not believe her traitorous old eyes. On her back was Maya, her former daughter-in-law's half-burned body that was clutching the old lady's neck, her decayed and twisted ankles circling the old lady's waist. Her voice choked back in her throat, and all she could manage in response was a labored and broken sentence. "Maya, you came back?" The room rang with another chilling sound of giggling, and it whispered in the old lady's ear a distorted "forever." Resigning to her doomed fate, she let out one last defeated shriek, "Now!" that echoed throughout the entire town of Yorkshire that night. So this was it, guys. If you liked the prequel, then definitely go out and order the book, and all the links are in the description. It is only for today and tomorrow at ₹9 for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the story, and wait for more. I will be coming back soon with another new story next week. So thank you and keep watching. Bye bye.